Order. Urgent questions, Keir Starmer.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To ask the Chancellor of the Duchy of Lancaster, a Minister for the Cabinet Office, if he will make a statement on the publication of the Attorney-General's legal advice on the proposed withdrawal agreement.
The Solicitor General, Mr. Robert Buckland.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Government recognises the legitimate desire of members on all sides to understand the withdrawal agreement and its legal effect. That is why my right honourable friend, the Chancellor of the Duchy of Lancaster, confirmed to this House on Tuesday the 13th of this month that the Government will publish a full reasoned statement setting out the Government's position on the legal effect of the withdrawal agreement. This is in addition to the material the Government has already published, for example, a detailed explainer of the withdrawal agreement and a technical explanatory note on the Northern Ireland Protocol. My right honourable and learned friend, the Attorney-General, will also make a statement to the House on Monday the 3rd of December, the next sitting day, Mr. Speaker, about the legal effect of the agreement and will answer questions from members, I am sure, in the fullest possible way.
Keir Starmer.
Not good enough. Mr. Speaker, nobody who was present during the debate on the 13th of November, including the Solicitor General, could be under any doubt about what the House was asking for. During the debate, I stated, and I quote, "The motion requires the publication of the final and full advice provided by the Attorney-General to the Cabinet concerning the terms of any withdrawal agreement. This must be made available to all MPs. It is to be published after any withdrawal agreement is reached with the EU, but in good time to allow proper consideration before MPs are asked to vote on the deal." It was on those terms that the motion was passed unanimously, and I made it clear when the motion was passed, Mr. Speaker, that those were the terms of it. It was perfectly clear to government ministers, including the Solicitor General, who spoke at the end of the debate, that the House was not asking for a position paper or a summary of the Attorney-General's advice. That was the offer made from that dispatch box during the debate, and it was roundly rejected, as the Solicitor General knows full well. The binding motion that was passed was for nothing less than the full and final legal advice provided by the Attorney-General. So it is wholly unacceptable and frankly shows contempt for this House, for government ministers, including the Prime Minister at the dispatch box yesterday, now to pretend that the House was only asking for partial or qualified legal advice. The question for the Solicitor General is this: if the Government is not willing to comply with the order of the House, why did the Government and the Solicitor General not vote against the motion? In 12 days' time, this House will have to take the most important decision it's taken in a generation. MPs are entitled to know the full legal consequences of the deal that the Prime Minister is asking them to support. That is why the order was made. That is why the order must be complied with. Throughout the Brexit process, the Government has repeatedly tried to sideline and push Parliament away. If it is now intending to ignore Parliament altogether, it is going to get into very deep water indeed. I urge the Minister to think again and to comply with the order of the House.
Mr. Speaker, with the greatest respect to the right honourable and learned gentleman, his request is wholly premature. The Attorney-General has said...
Order. Everybody will have a chance to contribute on this most important and solemn of matters, but just as the right honourable and learned gentleman was heard in relative quiet, the Solicitor General must likewise be extended a similar courtesy. But everybody will get a chance to put his or her point of view. Of that, there need be no doubt. Robert Buckland.
Mr. Speaker, as I was saying, the Attorney-General is coming to this House on the next sitting day. He will make a full statement. He will answer questions from honourable members right across this House. And it might be then for the House to judge whether or not the Government has discharged its obligations consistent with the humble address. But not before.